Hey y'all, welcome to the Throttle podcast. I'm your host, Earnest, here today with just myself, but you know what? We got a special preview episode here on this Friday night, so let's just get right into it. But first, initially, some big news in the gaming industry. NASCAR 25 finally out on PS5 and Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S or whatever. It's been a long time coming since like NASCAR 21 Ignition, and of course it's the first NASCAR game since iRacing took over. I unfortunately do not have a fancy next-gen console, so I can't play the game myself, but you know, it's whatever. I'm sure, there's definitely going to be improvement, but it's also iRacing's first time that they're doing a full-scale console game, so, I mean, the expectations are high, but it's not like they're through the roof or anything, so it is what it is. We're going to jump right into it here with this little preview show. So, getting into Vegas, I want to talk about tires, okay? These right-side tires, they've only been run one other time this season. It's that same compound that debuted at Kansas a couple weeks ago. Of course, the racing during Kansas was pretty spectacular, so Goodyear's going to look to replicate that this weekend. Vegas has put on some pretty good racing as of late. The race this spring set a track record of 32 lead changes, so yeah. Favorites-wise, you have Larson and Bell. Larson's won 3 of the last 9 races here, whereas Bell's finished runner-up from the pole in the last 2 fall Las Vegas races. I sure hope Bell can get it done this weekend, as he's been not only so close at Vegas lately, plus he's my race pick, as I'm trying to go for 3 wins in a row, and he's my overall championship pick that I made all the way back in like episode 1 of the podcast. I mean, that was so long ago. It was before I even knew about my Haley. But we'll see. In terms of like just Joey Logano, I mean, he's definitely lurking in the shadows. I mean, he's the defending fall Las Vegas winner, and he won this race in 2022, which of course both of those victories led him to winning the championship just a few weeks later. But it's an odd year. He enters last on the playoff grid, minus 24 to the cut line, which, I mean, isn't must win, but it's must perform. I mean, I don't know. And he hasn't scored a top 10 on a mile-and-a-half track since Kansas in May, which was a week after his lone win this season thus far at Texas. So, I'm not ready to write off Logano totally, but it's definitely not likely that he'll make another championship run. But then again, that's kind of how it's been for all his championships, so I don't know. Some sleeper picks, naturally, we'll talk about Josh Berry. I mean, this season hasn't been as great, of course. He won his first Cup race back at Las Vegas in the spring, and he has 2 Xfinity, soon-to-be O'Reilly's series races at Vegas as well. Ross Chastain, it sucks he was eliminated because he has been on an absolute tear here in Vegas. He only has 1 finish in the next-gen era, worse than 7th, including him being my pick at Vegas in the spring where he finished 5th. And honestly, Trackhouse in general has been really good here. Suarez finished runner-up to Berry this spring, and maybe SVG is starting to figure out some ovals. He got his first top 10 on an oval with a 10th place finish at Kansas 2 weeks ago, despite starting in the back. And remember, it's the same right side tire compound that's being run this weekend at Las Vegas. So, yeah, in terms of drivers to stay away from, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I would love him to kind of buck the trend this weekend, you're definitely going to want to stay away from Chase Elliott. He has not done well at Las Vegas, only getting like a best finish of 9th recently. And in the last 2 fall playoff races here, he's finished outside of the top 30 both times. And despite Bubba being good at Kansas just a couple weeks ago, Vegas does not produce for him. He only has 1 top 10 in the last 10 races here. And although he was good in 2022's fall race by winning a stage, he ended up being taken out with that sort of infamous incident with Larson, with the whole, kerfuffle on the front stretch, and Bubba got suspended for a race and all that. So, yeah, points coming in are tight, not only for the real standings, but for our standings. In terms of the real standings, you have Hamlin enters as +8, Blaney enters as +6, Larson and Byron at +4, Bell at -4, Briscoe at -14, Chase Elliott at -14, Logano at -24. And in terms of our standings, after I've won the last 2 races in a row, I've cut my 71-point deficit down to just 18 points behind Evan. And then you got kind of your long shots here with Zach, Mason, and Haley at 182, 198, 199 back. They're not out of it mathematically, but they're pretty close. And then you got your part-timers, so whatever. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see who's able to make the right pit strategy in order to get up front at Vegas. But if it's anything like we saw 2 weeks ago at Kansas with those tires, it's going to be an absolute show. Our picks in general, I'm picking Bell, as mentioned. Evan is picking Hamlin. He picked Hamlin in the spring race at Vegas, and he only ended up 25th, so that'd be a pretty good day, especially since, back in the spring, I picked Chastain to finish top, he finished top 5, and Hamlin only finished 25th, so I could use a day like that because, if I had a day like that where I finished 20-some spots ahead of Evan, then I'll take the points lead, so, but preferably Bell wins, not only getting the monkey off his back at Vegas, he would lock himself into the championship 4, being that he's my championship 4 pick, and he won Phoenix in the spring, but it would also be my 3rd win in a row, which would take the points lead back and hopefully launch me towards a championship. So we'll see. Zach is sticking with Briscoe this weekend. It's definitely not been a great track for him, but we've said that for a lot of tracks for Briscoe, and he's just performed just because he's in JGR equipment. So we'll see. Mason's picking Suarez, who, as mentioned before, finished 2nd at Las Vegas to Barry in the spring. Haley's picking Logano, who's the defending fall winner here, and he's won 2 of the last 3 fall races, which have led to him winning championships. Bernardo's picking Larson, who won the fall race in 23 and the spring race in 24. We'll see if he's able to get back to his winning ways. He's kind of been mundane these playoffs, and now that you're in the round of 8, you can't do that. You have to finish top 5, top 10, etc. You have to run good. It doesn't matter your points cushion, because now at the round of 8, you don't have guys entering with a 40-point cushion to the cut line. Everybody is within, Hamlin's only 8 above the cut line, and Logano is, 24 back, which is a good amount, but still very easily able to be made up in just one race. So it is a lot tighter now. So it's just, you have to perform now that you're in the round of 8. We'll see what happens this weekend at Las Vegas. Only got 4 races left on the season. Vegas is the opening race of the round of 8. And it's the last race on cable this year. The final 3 races are on NBC. Maybe that'll boost the ratings. I'm sure hope it does, because I know that obviously competing against the NFL for TV ratings is going to bring it down, but even year over year in the same circumstances of competing against NFL TV ratings are still down. So it's definitely something to watch, and hopefully we can kind of end on a positive note, because for a while we've actually had pretty good TV ratings, especially on the CW for Xfinity. Most of those races this season have seen over 1 million viewers, which has been really nice. Yeah, we'll see what happens there in Vegas. Also, Xfinity's running this weekend as well. Trucks are off this weekend until Talladega. Getting into NHRA now with the Texas FallNationals. They start the second half of their countdown to the championship. They only got 3 races left. Texas, and then they got Las Vegas themselves which is in like a few weeks, like the end of October, and then Pomona, California in mid-November, a couple weeks after that. You got Doug Coletta, who's trying to run away with his second Top Fuel World Championship in the last 3 years. He leads by 83 points after his win in St. Louis and after Justin Ashley picked up 3 bonus points so far in qualifying. Ashley comes in to Texas as the defending winner. He's going to try and knock some of that points lead down, so we'll see. Speaking of success at Texas Motorplex, Matt Hagan has closed all the way to 20 points behind points leader Austin Prock after his win in St. Louis, and luckily Hagan has such a storied history here. He's made every final round here since 2019, 5 overall wins, including back-to-back wins in this race. He'll look to go 3 in a row. He ran okay in qualifying, although Prock was able to lead the second round of qualifying in Friday night, so he was able to rack up a few points there, which, I mean, it could decide the championship for all we know. Greg Anderson's closed to also 20 points back from Dallas Glenn's points lead after his win in St. Louis, and bonus points racked up from leading both rounds of qualifying. And Richard Gadsden came in as the Pro Stock Motorcycle points leader, and he backs it up as well with the fastest qualifying runs in both Friday night sessions. So to recap, you got Doug Coletta leading Justin Ashley by 83 points in top field. You got Austin Prock leading Matt Hagan by around 20 to 25 points in funny car. You got Dallas Glenn leading teammate Greg Anderson by 20 points. And you got Richard Gadsden leading teammate Gage Ferreira by like 30 points. So I mean, all pretty decently tight battles. I mean, top field's starting to stretch out a little bit, but I mean, there's still 3 races left. And remember, the World Finals in Pomona is 1.5 times points. So that will be interesting. We're gonna see who's able to conquer Texas Motorplex, get that famed cowboy hat, and see if they can start the second half of the countdown to the championship right, and see if they can reach a path on a quest towards a world championship. I mean, you even got guys that are kind of outside, shots, such as guys like Clay Millican. You don't really think of him all that much. He's like 120-some points back, but he finished runner-up to Justin Ashley last year in Top Fuel. And we've seen him win in some of the biggest moments in drag racing, and seen him win some of the biggest races in drag racing. Of course, Clay Millican, he's well known for the IHRA. He's won 6 Top Fuel World Championships over there. He's also the Winter Nationals winner this year, and he won the U.S. Nationals Indy last year. So, we'll see. It's just kind of, it's an outside chance. You obviously got your dominant favorites, but there's other guys that have kind of an outside chance at the championship. Guys like a Clay Milligan, or even like Jack Beckman in funny car, who's only 65 points back of his teammate Austin Prock. So they're gonna have similar data. Beckman lost in the final round to Hagan at St. Louis, so he's also got some pretty good speed right now as well. So we'll see how NHRA goes this weekend at Texas. It's their start to the second half of the countdown to the championship, 4th of the 6 races. We'll pretty much just see how that goes. But that's all we got for tonight's short preview bonus episode of the Throttle podcast. Make sure you tune in and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Chilla Media. And take a look at the Chilla Media Instagram. Got a lot of new photos and stuff up there as well. And we'll probably make a post on talking about this episode and put it up on the Instagram as well. So yeah, we'll see. But that's all we got for tonight's episode of the Throttle podcast, and we will see y'all on Tuesday with some recap. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do this again, where I split the recap and the preview up into 2 separate episodes, we'll see. It's definitely an experiment, like how all these teams experiment with their setups, both in NASCAR and NHRA, and even other series like IndyCar. But of course, the focus is NASCAR and NHRA right now. So we'll see who can hit on the setup, and we'll see if I can find a good setup on how this podcast works to actually make it good. But all jokes aside, that's all we got for this week's episode of the Throttle to the Floor podcast, bonus episode, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday.